Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the PokerGO podcast. My name is Donnie Peters. His name is Tim Duckworth. This is a fake bobblehead, Daniel Negreanu, and we got a new location today. Tim wanted to switch things up, had a little bit of an issue with our studio, if that's what you want to call it.
It was taken.
Yeah, I mean, we use it with our photographers, so they're shooting some photos of some special stuff that you guys will see soon.
My own bobblehead.
Yeah, Tim's own bobblehead. No, not that. Some to be announced stuff that is coming down the pipeline. They're taking care of that. So we relocated out here to the floor of the Horseshoe Events Center.
Bronze table 620 to be exact.
Bronze table 620. Yeah, so when anyone sits at this table when they're playing throughout the summer, they can be like, that's where they recorded the podcast.
Yep.
That's where they recorded it. On today's show, we got Benny Glaser winning number 2 and number 7. You'll understand why if you're a little bit confused as to why I said it like that. Lou Garza comes back to win the 25K No Limit Hold'em / PLO High Roller. The 10K Dealer's Choice, it's way back there somewhere. And the 2K No Limit, where's that? That's on the main stage over there somewhere. They are both playing down. Not quite sure that we'll get to the winner in those tonight. So Tim and I are recording early. We'll touch on that. We'll see where they're at, and then we'll wrap them up on the next episode of the show. We got the $1,500 No Limit Hold'em Shootout is on to the final day. And then, of course, we will touch on everything else that is happening around the 2025 World Series of Poker. First up, though, of course, got to tell you about the home of free online poker. If you want to play online poker for free, and who the heck wouldn't want to do that? Check out Play Poker Go. You can find them in the iOS store. You can find them in the on Android, or just go to playpokergo.com. With Play Poker Go, you get the thrill of authentic poker anytime, anywhere. As we said yesterday, I'll say it again today, just launched the No Gamble, No Future themed sit and goes. You spin the wheel of gain instead of the wheel of pain that is on the show. So that is a cool new feature that is in the Play Poker Go platform. They got casual games, they got ring games, they got tournaments, they got anything that you want to play. Tim and I both play on there regularly. I think we should set up some sort of like free roll or something. I don't know exactly what. I'm just thinking about this out loud. So put that on your like to-do list.
When do you want to play?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
All right, got it.
You know, we'll promote it. We'll get the people in there. We'll have a little fun little battle, and we'll see if we can beat the fans, beat the listeners, right?
Yep.
So authentic online poker for free. PlayPokerGo.com or find it in the iOS store or on Android. Let's go. Benny Glaser, baby, winning number 2 and number 7, if you can believe it. The reason why I say it like that is because he won the second gold bracelet for his summer here in 2025, and it's only, 9 days in?
Yeah.
Crazy. His 7th career WSOP gold bracelet. He won the $1,500 mixed Omaha for $258,000. A big field, 1,239 entries in that one. Glaser came into the final day. 3 players remaining. He had the big lead. He ended up closing it out. He's got 2 cashes on the summer, and they're both wins. He won the $1,500 Dealer's Choice, and then the next tournament that he played was the $1,500 Mixed Omaha, and he won that. So Benny Glaser hasn't lost a tournament in 6 days.
The best.
Right? I mean, it's just absolutely incredible stuff, right? First 2-time bracelet winner here in 2025. He has 7 career bracelets, as I mentioned. After he won it, he was nice enough to come meet up with you on the main stage and chat for quite a bit. A fairly lengthy interview, so let's go to that interview with Tim and Benny right now.
Benny Glaser, congratulations. 7-time WSOP bracelet winner now. The one thing I want to talk to you about first is that there's a big streak here at the WSOP of players winning 2 bracelets, stretching back to 2000, and now you have continued that 26 years in a row. After you won your first one this week, was that something immediately on your mind, that you want to win a second bracelet, then a third, then a fourth this series?
It was on my mind, yeah. I had essentially infinite messages, also just putting it in my mind, just being like, we see another bracelet for you this series as well, and you know, for going for 3. It's obviously like a stretch of a goal, but it's absolutely been on my mind. I was really looking forward to coming in for a big summer this time.
There's only 2 players in the history of the WSOP that have won 7 bracelets quicker than you, Johnny Moss and Phil Ivey. You know, is that these kind of like records that and history in the WSOP, is that stuff that you care about?
Yeah, I think so. Like there are 1 or 2 records I don't know if I have. Like, am I the quickest ever double bracelet in a year, for example?
Yeah.
Or if or maybe the only person to get back-to-back twice. Like, these are things that I think are just incredible achievements that, I'm just proud of. It's amazing.
I think a lot of people know you as a mixed game player.
Yeah.
How important is it to you to win games in multiple variants? Not just, you know, all in horse or all in stud, but you know, you have bracelets in 4 games. You have deuce to 7, you have Omaha high low, you have dealer choice. How important is that to you as your poker resume?
I like to think it adds credibility to me as an overall poker player, which is something I definitely strive for, just to be a all-rounded player. And yeah, it's important, and it's very useful for the World Series when I can potentially jump into any event and have the potential for a bracelet. Like if there's any event like Badugi today, I feel like, oh, that has a chance of me winning. Yeah.
You have 2 bracelets in deuce to 7. You have 2 in Omaha high low, and I guess you can kind of call this as a third, or you know, maybe 2/3 high low.
Yeah.
What is your best game when it comes to the mixed games?
I think generally my best game is limit 08.
Okay.
It's close, but I think that's the one that I normally consider as my best. Yeah.
We talked about, you know, your impressive poker resume on the PokerGO podcast the other day.
Yeah.
We kind of thought, you know, Benny's following this path of Phil Ivey. You know, 11 bracelets in 8 different variants, but no limit hold'em bracelets. Is that something that like you care about, or is it just, you know, bracelet is a bracelet to me?
I mean, I would like to win a no limit bracelet. I think that would also be very cool. But just the reality is I prioritize mixed so much more during the summer that I'm probably only playing 5, maybe 6 no limit events throughout the whole summer. So it's just much more likely I'm going to win a mixed bracelet during the summer. But yeah, I think a no limit hold'em bracelet would also be very cool.
I want to kind of talk a little bit about your legacy as a poker player. You're not 40 yet, it's coming. 2029 you'll be eligible for the Poker Hall of Fame, I believe. And a few names that are also eligible that year. You got Pads, Stephen Chidwick, you got Doug Polk, you got Dan Smith. Now, obviously, right now, the Hall of Fame is just 1 person in. But for you, is that something you're really striving for? I want to, you know, stamp my name in the history books, and I want to be a first ballot straight into the Hall of Fame.
That would be something that's very cool. Like, that achievement is something I'm aiming for and would be very proud of. That was a very strong list of names. I don't know about that. I don't know about the first ballot. That would be very cool. That's going to be a tough year, I guess. But yeah, it's something I would aim for and be incredibly proud of, yeah.
When the dust settles on your poker career, hopefully it's not for another 40, 50 years from here, what do you want people to like look back on as Benny the poker player? What do you want your legacy to be?
Strong question. I mean, firstly, just ability. I guess I would like to think people think I'm good, or was very good. And then I guess the question is, how much does personality come in? Do I want people to think I was maybe gracious or whatever, like in the ways I'm winning or the ways I'm playing? There's a few things like that would be nice, you know, just being a good human, hopefully, as well. Things like that would be nice to be thought of in that way, yeah.
We haven't busted a tournament in 6 days, I believe. We've got a 1500 Badugi up next. You're probably going to maybe get some dinner and see if you can make that 9 days without being eliminated. But congratulations, 7-time WSOP bracelet winner, Benny Glaser.
Thank you very much, man. Cheers.
All right, that was Benny Glaser moments after he secured his 7th career gold bracelet. All of his bracelets are in mixed games, as you touched upon in that interview with him. What does that say about where he ranks among, I mean, two things. One, among the great mixed game players. And then the other thing is among the great WSOP players, because there are very few people that have 7 or more bracelets. So what do you think?
Yeah, he's right up there. I mentioned in the interview, the person his career is kind of following in is Phil Ivey. 11 bracelets in 8 different poker variants. Benny is on track to do something similar, and that's kind of why I kind of asked him about the no limit hold'em bracelet. As it comes to obviously modern players, he is without doubt one of the best that the WSOP has. The record stands, 7 bracelets in 11 years, something like that. It's just outstanding, and he's going to be competing for many years to come. He's still young. He's younger than both of you and me. I think he turns 36 or 37 in a couple of days. So still very, very young. And he's not going to stop. He's probably going to get to 10 pretty soon, I think.
Yeah, so it's interesting as you kind of compare him to Phil Ivey. I'm not saying you specifically, just in general. I think Phil has a chance to win a no limit hold'em bracelet more so than Benny. And the reason why I say that is Phil is for sure going to be in all the 25K plus no limit hold'em tournaments. Now, of course, those are very tough. Yes. But Phil is very good at no limit hold'em, and they're just smaller fields. The 50K, the 100K, the 250K, like that sort of stuff. He can certainly win those, where I don't think Benny is going to be playing, I'll say 50K plus. Maybe he dabbles in a 25K, especially, I would say this summer, especially because now he's obviously with these 2 bracelets early, the front runner for player of the year. So does he press a little bit harder, similar to what we saw with Dan Zach a couple of years ago? Dan Zach is known as a mixed game player. And then all of a sudden he's like, I got to play this 250K super high roller because I got to get in there for a chance at the POI points.
Yeah.
So do we see a similar sort of thing with Benny?
I don't think we see it to the same degree as Dan Zach. We both saw Benny skip the 25K half and half. Thought the field maybe was a little tough. Opted for an event where his edge is kind of greater, which was the mixed Omaha. Obviously paid off. And I think that's what's going to happen. If Benny has, a 5K no limit or 1,500 no limit, or he has, say, a $1,500 stud 8, I think he's always going to go with the mixed game. He's going to lean into his strengths, which is the mixed games, and nearly any mixed game we have on the schedule. But yeah, it will be interesting if he can get a couple more results, couple more cashes, and maybe another final table here and there. Maybe does he take a swing at a 25K or a 50K no limit hold'em or even PLO high roller to try and lock up player of the year? I think that's, I asked him about legacy. I think that's something where it would really interest him. Having a POI banner here. So the time comes, push comes to shove. Wouldn't surprise me if he does take a shot when needed.
Now, at the 2023 WSOP, we saw Chad Evesledge win Event 5 and Event 10, both Dealer's Choice tournaments. He won the $1,500 Dealer's Choice, and then he won the $10K Dealer's Choice. So very early on for him getting 2 bracelets. He also, like Benny this year, he had 2 cashes then. They were both victories. That obviously kickstarted his WSOP campaign in a very big way. But after those 2 wins, he didn't final table another live WSOP event in Vegas during that summer. So, I just kind of use that as a jumping off point. How do you think the remainder of Benny's summer is going to go? Is it going to be similar to what we saw with Chad Evesledge? Win these 2 early and then, don't get back to a final table in the future? Or are we just going to see Benny continue to, tear this place down?
You know what? I'd say that's pretty high variance there for Chad not having another big result after starting so strongly. But if you had asked him before the World Series, hey, you're going to make 2 final tables, win 2 braces, are you okay with that guarantee? He says 100%. So, if Benny does brick the rest of the series, if he can, maybe.
It's not that Chad bricked the rest of the series. But he had, I think, a couple finishes in the teens and whatever. He just didn't make it to that final table.
I think Benny would be pretty happy with this. Now, the fact that he started so hot, 2 wins in 2 events over 6 days, he's probably setting the bar very high for what comes for the rest of the series. Hey, I've knocked off 2 and it's only June 5th. You know, where's the third bracelet? When's the third bracelet coming? When's the fourth bracelet coming? When's the fifth bracelet coming? You know, so you set those standards pretty high. So it would probably disappoint him if he doesn't make at least a big run at a third bracelet here.
I want to see someone win a four bracelets in a summer.
Yeah, never happened.
I really want to see that. I think Benny is one of those players who has as good of a shot as anyone, just because of how good he is when it comes to playing mixed games. He's going to be in all those 10K mixed game championship events, which they have anywhere from 100 to 150, maybe 175 players, something like that. I think, well, we still have the 10K horse. That's going to be a big one. We have the 10K Omaha 8. That was, one of the bigger ones, but, the 10K stud 8, stuff like that. That's, kind of like around 120-ish or so. He's obviously going to be in the 50K. So, he'll have as good of a chance as anyone in that event. So
it's not even just, the size of the fields. I want to go back to 2015 when George Danza won his 3 bracelets. He won 2 here in Vegas, 1 in Asia Pacific.
Yeah, but that third one doesn't count.
It does.
We established that it doesn't count.
Huh?
I'm
Get out of here.
messing with you.
79 events for the entire year. 79 events for the entire year.
Bracelet events.
Bracelet events.
Yeah.
Right? When George Danza won 3. So for Benny, with 2 already, we have 100 live bracelet events here. We have 30 online. We're going to have 16 in Paradise.
I'm not sure Benny's going to be playing any online.
16, but we're going to have 16 in Europe. We're going to have another 33 online in the fall, right? So we're looking at something like 245 bracelet events versus 79. Basically 3xing when George Danza won 3. So, it's not just about the field sizes. It's also about the amount of volume Benny can put in between now and Christmas to try and win a third bracelet.
Yeah.
And a fourth and a fifth.
I'm going to say, yeah, but here. I want the 3 or the 4 to happen here in the summer in Las Vegas.
You want the Jeff Lissandro, the Phil Ivey, the Ted Forrest helmet.
That's what I
Pearson
want.
thing.
Like I don't want it to extend elsewhere. I just want it to be this series, right? So, I still think he has a great chance to do it. There are so many bracelet events left, and ones that are going to be great for him to be able to get in there and battle.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be easy. There's a lot of tough competition in some of the events that he plays, yes, but Benny is an absolutely elite player. So, I look forward to watching his quest for the rest of this summer. We have so much time to go. So it's going to be a fun sweat the whole way. Another thing that you hit on with him in the interview is the Poker Hall of Fame and what getting in would mean to him. Let me ask you, I know on the interview you were playing the interviewee, you were asking the questions, but here I'm asking for your opinion. Is Benny a Poker Hall of Famer? Obviously, when he's old enough, when he's old enough, should he get in? Yeah,
he'll be eligible in 2029. So a few more years. I would say he's probably a favorite to at least win 1 more bracelet between now and 2029.
1? That's it?
I'm saying, no. Let's
one a year?
Okay.
Come on. He's going to win 1 more this year, probably.
Okay. Fine. So he's going to have 17 bracelets in 2029. If he can win 1 more, he goes to 8. He joins, Negreanu, maybe see if he's got another one.
Wait, when does he turn 40?
June 7th, 2029.
Oh, so in the middle of the summer series.
Yeah, so the way some of the Hall of Fame things work, it's basically when it's announced is the cutoff, and normally it's announced early June around now. So he just falls in 2029, depending when they announce. Let's give him 1 bracelet. Let's give him 8 bracelets.
I'll say he's at 11 bracelets.
Okay, well, that's a lot of bracelets. Sure, fine, 11. Then even without 11, I think
is Benny freaking Glaser. Come on, man.
Obviously, the issue is how many people we get in. I think he is part of his eligibility class, the number 1 pick to get in. Looking at the names that I have that could get in 2021.
Here we go again with this nonsense.
Let me read some names.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to hear the names.
Stephen Chidwick.
Okay.
Doug Polk. Pads. Patrick Leonard. Seth Davies. Dan Smith. Sergio Aido. Daniel Dvoris.
No one you named is getting in.
Annette Oberstad.
Where's Annette Oberstad? Has she picked up poker chips or cards in 12 years?
Probably, but yeah, I get what you're saying. My point is that he is probably the number 1 pick on this list.
No, he's by far. It's not even close. You can combine careers of people on that list, and it's still Benny.
But
I mean, listen, everyone on that list is a great player and has their place in poker's history book. You know, I don't want to besmirch these players, but when you're throwing names at me like this, for the Hall of Fame is the top tier of the top tier. The most exclusive club is what Hall of Fames are supposed to be.
I'm just telling you who's eligible. I'm not saying
I know.
I'm not writing in on my ballot Annette Overshatt or Dan Smith. I'm just telling you who's up for nomination. But, you know, we have to look at who is not in. You know, if Jeremy Osmus isn't in by 2029, maybe he has 9 bracelets, you know? So
he's got to catch up to Benny.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he does it this 11. Year. Hopefully he does it this year for our 25K
Benny's going to have 11.
Team. But yes, I do think Ben is a first ballot Hall of Famer, pending whatever changes they make to get people in. But yeah, he's building a resume to really establish himself as one of the best mixed game players in the world, one of the UK's best poker players in general. And, you know, every day he's going to be out there grinding away, trying to pick up titles and amass millions of dollars in earnings.
Yeah, crazy stuff from Benny Glaser to start the 2025 World Series of Poker.
Most importantly, I would like producer Rich to rewind a few episodes, maybe like 8. I'm pretty sure I said double bracelet winner by June 15th. Or June 10th or something. So, Rich, if you can pull that footage.
You're way ahead of that.
Play it here. It's June 5th. We extend I think, the streak that will never, ever end. 26 years in a row, we've had a player win 2 bracelets in a calendar year. We're at 114 double bracelet winners in WSOP history.
Okay. Well, Benny's on the list. Moving on to the 25K No Limit Hold'em / PLO, we got Lou Garza coming back in heads-up play. He was down 4-1 against Ben Lamb, and he wins his second career gold bracelet, more than $1.3 million. His first gold bracelet came in 2023 when he won the 10K PLO championship event for right around the same amount, $1,309,000 in that one. This one was $1,302,000. Came back against Ben Lamb, and this one we all know how good Ben Lamb is at poker, especially when it comes to the 4-card variant. This one ended up finishing out in No Limit Hold'em, and he won it with 2 aces. Lamb jammed with King 10 of clubs. Garza wakes up with the aces, picks him off, and that's that. Slight sweat on the Queen Jack Jack flop, but Lou Garza held from there and took it down. On the way to the winner's circle, he busted, of course, Ben Lamb. He busted Chongjiang Yang and Brandon Mischel. All that was on the final day. 5 players returned. And then Robert Cohen also was busted out on the final day, but he was eliminated by Ben Lamb. This was a PGT qualifying event. It was also streamed on PokerGo. So if you guys missed the stream, it was a quick one. About 2 hours, 45 minutes, something like that. So if you missed it, you want to go watch it, you can find the on-demand replay on PokerGo. But for you, sir, Mr. PGT Commissioner, this was a PGT qualifying event. So what the heck do the results here do for the leaderboard? I'm assuming there's some shakeups because there was a lot of points up for grabs.
I'm going to work top to bottom relative to the leaderboard. Michael Munchak, 9th place finisher. He moves into the top 10. He's in 8th place, 807 points, 6 cashes this year. Lou Garza up to 14th place with his 700 points. He's a regular in our PGT PLO series, so I expect him to come back to the studio later in the year and look to qualify for our $1 million free roll. Ben Lamb has 2 cashes this year already. This run-up finish takes him up to 17th place, and 3rd place finisher Chongjiang Yang, he's just inside the top 40. So obviously the biggest results there to kind of PGT regulars Lou and Ben, in quite a good position to really make a run at it for the rest of the PGT season.
Sounds good. So I got some breaking news. 10K dealer's choice.
Oh,
we just lost Adam Friedman.
Unbelievable.
He will not be winning it for a 4th time, but valiant effort by him, finishing in 7th place. There are 6 players remaining. We got Phil Sternheimer up on top, Ryan Honig in 2nd, Dario Aliotto in 3rd, Dylan Smith 4th, Matthew Vangren 5th, Brandon Cantu rounds it out in 6th. 5 of those 6 players are on 25K fantasy teams, so we are sweating. Well, I mean, we're just going to get crushed in this one. What are you going to do? But looks like Sternheimer, your boy, Could be in line to get his first bracelet.
I did something pretty nice for Phil Sternheimer today.
Oh yeah, what's that?
So we came back. What's that? Came back with I think like 16 players, something. They redrew the 2 tables.
Okay.
Right? They took the big table up here where the 2K no limit is on the feature, and they took table C where the current dealer's choice is. Nick Gugenti was complaining about the heat. Didn't like it.
Okay.
Right?
Hold on.
I know what you're going to say, but let me finish my story. Okay,
Go finish your story, and then we're going to get into this nonsense.
They hadn't started dealing, and I sat up there, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it is pretty warm." Like, why do we have to be up here? And the Falls asked me. I was like, "No, you guys can sit wherever you want." So, can we move back? Sure. That same time, Phil was adjusting his seat. He had a nice, fresh, I don't know, little iced latte sitting on his table. Knocked it down. Went splattering all over the stage. You know,
the other day, his drink got knocked over by Mickey Dueck. He had 2 drinks. He put them on the floor next to his chair.
He just doesn't run good with drinks.
Mickey got up and kicked one over, and then blamed it on like a photographer or something.
Of course. So they moved back, and I said, you know, we didn't have much on. The cards were in the air on the stream. We were pretty relaxed. I said, Phil, do you want me to go get you another one? I don't know.
Look at that.
He goes, really? That'd be awesome. I was like, yeah, whatever. It's a 2-minute drive to the next Starbucks. It doesn't really take much out of my day. He's like, okay. He goes, can I order you something? I was like, I actually just have I just got one. I need one, but I'll get more if you want it. Gets one for Nick. He wanted a Trenta cold brew. It's kind of your type of drink.
Nick who?
Picked up Nick Duante, the guy complaining about the heat, who you're going to have a follow-up. So when I got their coffee, brought it back a couple minutes later.
Got me one.
That's when I called you and you were working out.
Because I was going to get got me one. Yeah, iced coffee. We put it in the fridge. Like, we're good.
Look,
come on, man. What's up? I thought you were my boy. I thought you were looking out for me.
You were coming in for 3 hours. So I'm not going to, you could have handled yourself. Anyway, got him a drink.
Unbelievable.
He, and I think that drink is going to power him to this bracelet. I think he should give me his bracelet when he wins, because it's the iced coffee the iced latte I went and got for him at 1 o'clock today.
So you and I wandered over to Paris.
Yes.
Today. And we're checking out the 25K 6-Max. We're checking out the $1,500 Badugi, both of which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But we stumble upon a table that has both David Bakers, ODB, and Bakes.
Oh, it did.
Right? He was sitting at that table.
Yeah.
Nick Guagenti was at that table at that time.
Yep.
Now, ODB immediately puts his hoodie like over his head. You know, he's just getting to the table. Nick Guagenti honestly looks like he's back in Ohio. He's got like 2 hoodies on, I think. One pulled way over his head. So he's complaining over there that he's too cold. He's complaining over here that he's too hot. You just can't please this guy.
No,
now there are a handful of tables around the Horseshoe and around Paris where there is a vent like pretty much directly above them. If you guys watched Daniel Negreanu's vlog, his recent vlog, he's on one of those tables. It's on the other side of the room. He was in the dealer's choice, and he had his hoodie pulled over. He was holding it tight in the front. He's like, this draft. Look at the little stanchion rope. Look at it, just blowing in the wind. So there are a few. I love those tables personally. I like when it's freezing cold in here. You know, I want Amazon room temperatures that were at the Rio. You know, you got to wear a sweatshirt for sure. I like when it's cold. I would rather be cold than hot. That's just me. So anyway,
you should tell the other side story from that.
What?
You should tell the Arthur Morris side story.
No, we're not going to tell the Arthur Morris side story. We're going to skip that one. So the 10K dealer's choice down to 6. Again, we'll wrap that one up on Friday?
Yeah, I think. Look, we got 4 more hours of play today. I don't. think
we just lost Brandon Cantu.
I still don't think it's going to get there. I bet you they bag 3 players. They'll come back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Finish that off. Hopefully, it's Phil Sternheimer winning his first WSOP bracelet.
Okay. Well, there is $354K for the winner. Sternheimer, I think among anyone who doesn't have a bracelet, he is up there in terms of like he wants one so bad, right? You know, and especially in this game, this format, you know, dealer's choice. He's a huge mixed game guy. He absolutely loves it. He worked closely with you on the Super High Roller Bowl mixed game tournament. Like, you know, that was his baby. So if he's able to go on and win this, you know, I think that would just be absolutely freaking incredible. We got the 2K playing down as well. Where's that one at? Well, that one's on the main stage.
That's the main
first of
stage,
all.
yeah.
And we got Umesh Babu Sukumar. I
Nailed it.
probably butchered
Nailed
that
it.
last name. Leading the way with 5 players remaining. Scott Bowman in second, Dusty Smith in third, Benjamin Williams in fourth, and then Quan Zhao is in 5th place. These guys are guaranteed, guys and gal, guaranteed $113,000, $436,000 up top for the winner there. Huge field in this 2K
Female
tournament.
bracelet possibility.
Yeah, another one.
105.
Another one. We had a 3rd place finish yesterday, and we had a shot here to get another one in an open event, of course.
Yep.
1,692 entries in this tournament. Not sure if they're going to finish tonight. They're down to, or it's 10:45 p.m. So we'll see. Might be one of those bag with 3 players type of ordeals that happens, and then if it doesn't finish. Either way, we'll just have to wrap it up on the next episode. But I guess maybe there's a chance something crazy happens and we get a little breaking news here on the show right now. The $1,500 shootout. Now, so this is on to the final day.
Correct.
So how is this working? Because we're planning to stream this on Friday.
Yes,
right?
correct.
So how is this working?
It's just a normal tournament now. Just a 15-player tournament.
I thought they might be like 2 tables.
Yeah, no, they didn't do that last year. So this year
that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, 15-player tournament. They'll play down, obviously, to firstly 1 table and then
modified shootout.
Modified shootout, correct. And yeah, we'll probably pick them up 7 or 8-handed. About 4 o'clock local time stream, probably targeting that 5 p.m., that normal window for us. That is the current plan with this one. They'll be pretty deep to start, obviously. And
how many entries were in this tournament?
A lot.
I feel like
$12.99.
But is that right?
Some tables were 9-handed, some were 8-handed because of the double.
Yeah, but I feel like
double flight.
I want to say, didn't this used to get 1,000 players with a single flight? So now you have 2 flights and only gets $12.99.
Yeah, but the issue with the single flight is that once you can't have anyone playing it the next, like the evening flight allows people that playing another event on that day to bust and then get into it before they couldn't. So yeah, the individual flights are slightly smaller, but combined field size end up being bigger. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think this format's way better. The 2 flights is great.
I like the format for sure.
Yeah.
I would almost say,
and I think we discussed we could
cram 3 flights.
We could do 3.
Day.
We could do you could do 4 flights. You could make this a 4-day shootout.
Go nuts with it all. Notables: Punat Punsri, Michael Rosito, all punched their tickets through to the final day. Duff Charette is also going on through.
Fred Goldberg.
Yeah.
Or is that the same? Do we think that's the same?
I think I would assume so.
Yeah, you have to assume so, right?
So yeah, they're all through to the final round. As Tim mentioned, they're going to come back. They're going to play a real tournament now, and they're going to try and get down to a winner, $267,000 up top in that one. It will be streaming on PokerGo and the PokerGo YouTube channel, so be sure to check that one out tomorrow. The plan is for the stream to air when?
Tentatively 5 p.m. Pacific.
Got it. All right, cool. Before we move on, let me talk to you about a little sponsor here. This episode of the PokerGo podcast is brought to you by True Classic, the only shirts we trust. I'm wearing one right now. It's under my jacket, but I am. The only shirts that we trust to look sharp and feel even better, whether you're grinding on the felt or heading out for the night or doing the PokerGo podcast. Of course, True Classics fit is next level, affordable, comfortable, and built for real guys. Go to trueclassictees.com and upgrade your wardrobe today. They have much more than just tees. Okay, they have bottoms, they got tops, they got activewear, they got hats. I mean, they got everything.
They got bags as well, I think now, right?
Accessories. They have everything. Everything, a guy would want, and very, very affordable, to get good, high quality fitting clothes. I know Jeff Platt, whenever he talks about this on one of the broadcasts, he's always like, I love True Classic. I'm wearing a tee right now. So I love them. Jeff Platt loves them. Everyone that I've seen gets them, absolutely loves them. So check them out today. trueclassictees.com. The other events that are happening around the WSOP, we got the Colossus playing day 1B. 3,309 entries on this second of 4 starting flights. Now, I did see a little discrepancy on day 1A. I saw on Poker News that they had in the recap that it was 3,379 on day 1A, but then I saw on the app that it was 2,773. And immediately I thought, because I was looking at Poker News and I said, well, that's weird that 1B is less than 1A. That can't be right.
Yeah.
And then I looked in the app and it gave me a different number. So I don't know which number is correct for 1A yet. I would assume it's 2,773.
Yeah, that sounds
1,
more.
because it's the app. 2, because it's smaller than 1B. I thought we would get a little bit of a bigger jump for 1B. Get up to like 4K, right? Going only 2,773 up to 3,309. I thought it would be a little bit more, right? Hit 3,800, 4K, something like that. I still think Friday and Saturday are going to be absolutely, wall-to-wall jam-packed in this place.
Yep.
But, still. So that's still to come. We won't touch too much on that. It doesn't really get serious till day 2 in the Colossus. And remember that the Colossus this year, $500 buy-in as opposed to the $400 buy-in. So
it scares people away.
The other thing, shout out to our buddy Matt Clark, who pointed out today, and we're not fact-checking this, so we're just going to roll with it, but it's the 10th anniversary of the Colossus tournament. Which is the OG.
That's the OG multi-flight
shit show chaos tournament.
Chaotic, kill us all now.
I mean, it's awesome, right? But
it is.
Remember when this first happened and it was like, what is this thing? And I remember the pavilion room at Rio just being slammed.
Yeah.
Absolutely slammed. So, shout out to the Colossus because it's one of my favorite tournaments every single summer. I am bummed that I can't play it this year. And yeah, I always am like, where's the Colossus? I want to play it. Gladiators, I'm just like, okay, I can't with the Gladiators. I've tried. I'm
You're
over
too
it.
rich for the Gladiators.
I'm
We
over
all get it.
I mean, maybe it'll be different this year because, we haven't heard anything about 10-handed play, but every time in the Gladiators, you're playing 10-handed. And the worst part about when you play 10-handed in that tournament in the past, even when they're breaking tables, you're still playing 10-handed. It's like, why can't you just break tables and make it 9-handed? Like, why can't we just do this?
Yeah.
But they keep you 10-handed the whole way, and it's out of control. Anyway, moving on. $1,500 PLO8. Calvin Anderson is cruising over there. We did get a cash out of Nico Milgram for our 25K fantasy team, but he is since out. I think he busted in 52nd place, something like that, around there somewhere. They're down to 19 players from 1,176, $248,000 up top. I mentioned Calvin Anderson having the lead. Chris Vitch is second in chips. Justin Liberto is doing well. Bryce Yockey is also doing well. So a nice field over there. Andres Korn, he was on our 25K team last year. Andres, man, what the heck? What the heck? Marco Johnson also in there as well. So we'll keep our eyes on that as it plays out to a winner. And then the 25K 6 max no limit hold'em high roller, the good old Big Daddy. I love this tournament. I was walking the field today over there at Paris. It seemed incredibly tough. Now, of course, it should be tough. It's a 25K 6 max, but I just felt like in the past, there were some soft spots. This one, I don't know. I don't feel like there were any. So, I mean, there was a few, of course, but still, I thought like this tournament is ungodly hard. Mm-hmm. So, we'll see how things go, of course, but they wrapped up day 1A early. You talked to Chino while we were out there, and Chino's asking you, like, you're in charge of the tournament structures. He's like, what? How come it says we're only playing 8 levels today? Because this is what they do in these tournaments now. They play them 8 levels so that they can have the registration. They have a short day 1, then they have the registration carry through for the first level or 2 on day 2. That's what they do in the high rollers. So Chino must be new here, obviously, because this has been a thing. It's not like this is new.
Yeah, I don't love it. I would rather than play. Playing another level or 2 levels on day 1 means, for WSOP, another rebuy, another re-entry, allows some more people to get in potentially. You'd obviously have to tweak the structure a little bit, so you're not too shallow if you do the max late on day 2. But yeah, it just seems silly to just, midday to 9 p.m. and be done. It's a bit of a short day, especially when most of the other events are, you're here till 2 a.m.
So, what the levels are an hour?
Yeah, I think those ones are.
Yeah, so it's not like you're playing them till like 12 midnight.
No, exactly.
You're playing them till like 10:30, something like that. So it's not that bad. Michael Gatti, a 3-time WSOP gold bracelet winner, finished at the top of the counts to finish day 1. 72 players bagged up for day 2. Arama Gagnon, 2nd in chips. Nick Schulman, 3rd in chips. Jared Blesnick, 5th in chips. Seth Davies, Team DPMD, is in 6th in chips. And we also have Mr. Short Stack himself, 72nd place on the leaderboard, our $141 player, bagging crumbs. What are the blinds for tomorrow? Jeremy Osmond's put $65K in the bag.
I bet you it's 5 big blinds. I'm going with 5 big blinds. Let's see what we got here.
So 612?
6.5 bigs he has.
Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go. Spin it up, baby. I mean, he can still, if he hasn't used his reentry, he can use his reentry. It does have 1 reentry in this tournament. I was reading on Poker News, and per their reporting, Daniel Negreanu, Eric Seidel, which I believe they spelled Eric Seidel wrong, unless I spelled it wrong, but Dan Smith, Artur Martirosian, Steven Chidwick, and Adrian Mateos all busted and used their reentry. So,
only
no
one
D-negs.
Wait, only 1 reentry?
That's what it said in the Poker News reporting.
Oh, okay.
And it feels like too much of a hassle to try and go to the WSOP website and look up the structure. So, it's just, I can only do so much, right? I can only do so much. Producer Rich is like, you guys got a podcast early. I'm trying to rush through things.
He's right. 1 reentry per player. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, if that's true, I mean, that's a pretty good list of names that's no longer going to be in this tournament. Of course, chief among them, D-Negs. So they'll have to hop into the next one. The 1,500. Oh, and also, this event had 272 entries last year, so already meeting last year's total on day 1. They're gonna get over 300 for sure. They're gonna get all the people that didn't use their reentry. Maybe they busted late in the night. They're just like, I'm just gonna go home, not gonna play for another 45 minutes or whatever. I'll come back tomorrow. You're gonna get a bunch of people that are just buying in fresh tomorrow. Then you're gonna get people like, not hopefully, but Jeremy Osmond. Let's say he busts, he didn't use his reentry. He's like, all right, I'm just gonna fire it right back in. So yeah, they're going to soar up over 300. So massive, massive turnout there. Shout out to the word massive. You always love that bit, don't you?
I do.
It's the most overused word in poker, so I'm going to overuse it. $1,500 Badugi turned out to be the largest Badugi tournament in the history of poker. Can you believe it?
There's been like 4 Badugi tournaments in the history of poker. So it's not the greatest stat you've ever came out with.
You got to set the records, baby. 534 entries. There were 487 last year, so that's a nice little uptick.
Nice bump
for the Badugi crowd, for the mixed game crowd. Top 81 are going to pay $138,000 up top. Do you have anyone who's still in that tournament?
George Wolf, chip leader.
Okay.
Nico Milgram, top 10 in chips.
Oh, Nico!
60 big blinds. So he's doing well.
Nico's the man. Let's go.
Yuri D Nerd Guy, he's up in the top 10. Billy Ramos. Yeah, a whole bunch of mixed game legends.
Shocker.
Playing this one. So good fun event. We were over there for a little while checking it out, seeing all the faces in the event. So definitely one I want to play one day.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of over the mixed games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for now, that'll probably change in a year. Who knows? But I don't know. I feel like the no limit stuff is so much better. And I'm a sucker for
just the bigger prize pools.
I'm a sucker for the bigger prize pools. I'm a sucker for the fact that I can go all in. I mean, that sounds stupid, I know, but I can literally say I'm all in.
You can say all in mixed games.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't count, but
you can't
can
always do it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just a sucker for that sort of stuff. I like to see all the flashing lights, the big, like up in this 2K, $436,000 first place prize, that sort of stuff. So, I mean, maybe someday I'll swing back to the mixed game ways, but for now, loving the no limit stuff for sure. I definitely want to start playing some more PLO and PLO 8. I mean, you see some stuff in this PLO 8 tournament that's like, what in the F are people doing?
Yeah.
I mean, you see stuff in these PLO tournaments that are like, I don't know.
You see stuff in every tournament that makes
that is very true. That is very true. But, I mean, yeah, it's funny. I feel like in the PLO tournaments, both PLO and PLO 8, the really good players in those fields, they just have such a control over things, like way more so than No Limit Hold'em.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because everyone thinks PLO is this crazy action game. You know, when it comes to PLO tournaments, I think it's a lot more controlled than people think, at least when it comes to like the best players. You know, they're not just like spazzing and going nuts. I mean, you can play like that if you want to, right? You can really, really press your edges. But, you know, I think that there's, you know, a lot of kind of delicate maneuvering that people wouldn't expect when they see, oh, $1,500 PLO. Like, you know, do they have a $1,500 PLO 6-max? Do they have that? They should.
They may have had it before. I don't know if they have it.
That would be
this year.
That would be a ridiculous tournament. So yeah, I don't think we got anything else. Unless you got anything else.
Got a new hat.
You did get a new hat. ESPN Poker Club. I don't know what the ESPN Poker Club is. ESPN Poker Club. Did you hit up Andrew Feldman?
There's a new ESPN Poker Club, November 23, 2010.
Yeah, 2010. And it's powered by PokerStars.net.
Oh.
At least it was. With more games, more players, and more awesome prizes. And then there's the next post on my search is from Reddit.
Yeah.
What happened to ESPN Poker Club?
They listed all their hats on eBay, and that was the end of it, I guess.
I mean, I guess so. I'm going to read this. It says, one of my close friends and I play poker all the time at his house. This is from 3 years ago.
Okay.
He has this set from the ESPN Poker Club that looks really nice, and I was thinking about buying my own. Everywhere I look, it's like it never existed. There's almost no trace of this set. So what exactly happened to the ESPN Poker Club, and why can't I find this set? Interesting, huh?
I don't know. I thought it was a pretty cool hat. You know, we both like our poker stuff, and I just wanted an ESPN Poker Club hat. Add it to the collection. Wear it today.
Yeah, no, of course. I do find this interesting. So now I'm on eBay. This is the part of the podcast that Rich probably hates.
Well, he could just do he should mimic your screen. He should go on eBay and do the same search.
There's cards, ESPN Poker Club. There's a chipset, ESPN Poker Club.
Look at the top one. Look at the top
There's a hat that's yours. That's a pair of hats. I get 2 hats for the price of 1.
Wow, that's
so if you got
deal.
1 hat, you got ripped off, and you didn't even buy me one. You didn't give me a coffee today from Phil Sternheimer, and you didn't buy me a hat. This is absolutely freaking outrageous. This one, look at this one. ESPN Poker Club. They got a shuffler on here. I mean, just crazy stuff.
That's a cool stuff from the old and the 2000s.
This is going to be us in like 30 years when we list all this
selling all our
crap
stuff so we can get food from Albertsons.
Albertsons probably won't be around, but sure.
Why wouldn't Albertsons be around?
You know, things come and go. You never know.
Aren't they owned by the biggest grocery store in?
I mean, they're obviously
Kroger,
big,
like,
but
pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously big, but I mean, you never know. By then, we're going to have AI robots making us fake meat. And it's going to be dropped off by drones in our front yard. Like so,
a lot of what you just said, we already have.
I understand,
not sure it's that
but I'm just saying it's going to like all be like put together, and you're just going to be able to like press a button on your kitchen counter, and like it just.
Wouldn't it be more? It's going to be
like
press
the
a button,
Jetsons.
and like we just get like a needle that just ejects us with the food, and we're done. Don't even have to eat anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it also in 30 years, like we might not be here because the robots just have killed us all. So.
Have you seen I Am Legend? They have a code to live by. They can't hurt us.
Yeah. No, they always in any crazy robot movie, the robots always go crazy. Okay, so it doesn't matter, So, all right, we're gonna get out of here. For Tim Duckworth, my name is Donnie Peters, and we will talk to you guys next time.
Peace.